Okay. Okay, ini je ada. Okay, mana yang lain? Tak ada.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening, good evening. So, ini saja yang ada. Yang lain mana pergi? Semua masih cuti lagi, cuti minggu depan. Okay, so yeah, we continue as usual last week punya. Is it okay? Mahari baru ke dah lama ni? New students or
Baru.
baru?
Ya, betul.
Actually Mahari ada ramai tapi tak tahu pergi mana, hilang terus SPM. Dekat-dekat SPM mesti ramai tapi dekat-dekat SPM dah kurang pula orang. Okay.
Tu saya pun terkejut juga masuk-masuk cuma segini.
Ya, tak tahu mungkin hari ni banyak hal kot. Okay. So anyhow tak apa. So saya kenalkan dulu ramai ya. Ya betul. So anyhow saya kenalkan saya siapa. Saya Cikgu Sasi yang akan ajar kamu English SPM 2023. Jadi saya dah lama ajar English. So untuk kamu saya kenalkan diri saya. Untuk Melanie dia dah lama kenal saya dah. So tak payah introduction lah untuk Melanie ya. Okay. So biasa nota saya akan share dalam group. So nota tu kita akan revise every week. So and then during my class I will use to dual language. Sometimes I will speak in Bahasa, sometimes I will speak in English. So it will become a multiple language. So it's easy for you to learn. Okay. So I don't want to waste my time. Just want to continue my notes last week punya. Okay. So my last week notes. Wait saya share screen dulu supaya bagi kamu nampak sikit. So dalam kelas, oh my god, reload. Okay, sekejap. Okay. So, yeah, thank you Melanie. So, dalam kelas saya lebih suka pelajar interact dengan saya daripada dia diam. Kalau dia diam, it's really difficult for me to speak with you guys. Okay. So, nampak tak screen? Can you see my screen? Saya punya internet okay kan? Kadang-kadang dia slow, tiba-tiba dia slow, tiba-tiba
Yes,
dia
sir.
okay. Okay, boleh nampak Okay. Okay. Last ni hang pula dah tu. Okay. Where did I stop last week, Melanie? Which one?
Sorry.
This one. Part 3, right?
Yeah, this sir.
Okay. Okay, so 9. Okay, so as usual, start with the volunteer. Okay, who wants to read this long passage? Thomas moved to city when he was third grade student. Who wants to read? As usual. Okay, Melanie, continue. Thomas moved.
Ah, okay, sir.
Thomas moved, yeah.
Mm, Thomas moved to the city when he was a third grade student. His mom received a career opportunity that she could not refuse, and his dad agreed. Even though his dad had not found a new job yet, he knew it would not. eh, He knew it would not be long before his dad did. The thought of going to a new school terrified him. He had always had problems making new friends. Unfortunately, his parents had made up their mind. Erin had been living in the boring city since she was born. Her parents, like so many others, had to put in many hours at work, so Erin and her siblings could have all the things they needed and a little more. Thus, Erin and her younger brother and sister were alone at home almost all of the time on weekdays. Thomas being Thomas, he did not attempt to talk or make friends with anyone. He kept to himself during the first few weeks in school. Initially, this technique of avoiding and ignoring people worked, but his luck ran out and he started getting unwanted attention. The popular kids sat with Thomas and commented first about his shoes and clothing. It quickly got more personal when they insulted his looks and hair. He paid no attention to them, but it didn't make them stop. Instead, it made them more eager to heap on the comments. Erin watched as the other kids cruelly teased Thomas. A few times, Thomas raised his head just enough to show eyes that were seeking help, and Erin saw his shoulders drooping in defeat. Erin could not stay quiet any longer. He got up and walked to the table where the abuse was happening. Facing the leader calmly while smiling at her three followers, she said, "Stop this second, or I'll report you." The four kids were silent for a moment before bursting out into laughter. "Go ahead," one of the girls said smugly. "We're not afraid." Erin was furious and grabbed the girl's arm roughly. "Oh, you're hurting me," the girl complained. "What's going on? You two come with me," Miss Alia, the head discipline teacher, said sharply. She led the two girls away. Erin turned to look at the table, which was now occupied by only Thomas. She shot her a quick smile and muttered, "Thank you." Sir. Thank you, sir. Where?
The girl. The girl who made.
Ah, the girl who made fun of Thomas a few minutes ago was now worried. "Look, please don't tell on me and my friends. I swear it was all just harmless fun. We will not bother him again," she whispered. Erin could not care less about the girls, but she also did not want the situation to become more serious. Besides, she did not feel Miss Alia would believe her. Once in the teacher's office, Erin told Miss Alia about how she had tripped and was about to fall. So she grabbed the nearby girl's arm to support herself. "It was just an accident." "Well, since I did not see what happened, I will just have to trust you that you're not lying, the teacher sternly said. I'll keep an eye on you, Erin. You may go now. After school that day, Erin walked to the shed where her bike was. Thomas raced to catch up with her. Hey, thanks for today, he mumbled. I'm Thomas, by the way. I'm sort of new here. Let me buy you a meal sometime. I'm really grateful. Oh, you don't have to do that. It wasn't a big deal. My mom makes really good buttermilk chicken. I'll bring some for you tomorrow. Okay, thanks. Erin was secretly excited to have a home cooked meal for lunch. Anything did anything that did not come out of a can or a box was a great change for her. Remembering her siblings, she asked, Hey, I have a big appetite. Would you mind bringing me an extra portion? That was 30 years ago, why Erin did change his life forever. He's no longer a timid person, and he does not need anyone to save him anymore. Even though they no longer live in the same city, they still keep in touch with each other. Erin will always have a special place in Thomas' heart.
Thank you. Actually, a bit noisy. Your surrounding. It's like a party. Am I disturbing? Is it disturbing you? No. Okay for you. Okay, so can you hear my voice? Can you hear?
Can, sir.
Again, because you keep quiet, that's why. Okay, so the opening paragraph, the first paragraph, we comes to the questions, and let's move to the questions. So the opening paragraph tells us that, what is that? For the opening means the first paragraph. What it tells us. What it tells us. Thomas
A.
was raised in a big city, or Thomas felt excited to start a new life. Thomas' mother was offered a good job, and Thomas' father had difficulties finding work.
The answer is A.
It's not A, I guess, because wait. Thomas moved to the
D.
city. Thomas moved to the city. It's not big city, just moved to the city. His mom received a career opportunity, new job. See? So Thomas' mother offered a new job. Okay?
Ah,
Okay?
mother lah.
Understand?
That's mother lah.
Can I continue? Sudden break. Okay, I continue. Okay, had to put in my hours at work. That means she needs to spend some times in the office because of a lot of work, stagging on the desk of his mother's place. So it means that, what is that? They hope to get a promotions in their career, or they try their best to provide for their children, or they struggle with some financial difficulty, or they care more about work than their children. Actually, what is the best one? Here is the line. Irene had been living in the boring city since she was born. Her parents, like so many others, had to put in many hours at work, so Irene and her siblings could not ever could not have all the things they need, have, and siblings could have all the things they needed and a little more. That means they prove to provide uh, uh, their best for their children because they work more, they can earn more, so they can use it to live a good life. Okay. Okay. Thomas' strategy to keep away from people was not successful because of his
Period.
behavior, appearance, ke, or personality, ke background. Background, I guess no. Because of his
They insulted his looks and hair.
see. So about their appearances. Okay. Okay. 22. The phrase Irene could not stay quiet and longer shows that what is that? Quiet and longer. That means she was she is in anger. She was in anger. So where is the line actually? Irene could not stay quiet and longer any longer. She got up and walked to the table where the abuse was happening, facing the leader calmly while smiling at the three followers, and she said, "Stop this second or I will report you." So she was angry at her classmates or what?
A.
She was frustrated with Thomas' lack of actions, or she felt that she had to intervene in the situation, or she felt she needs to defend herself from the police. They not bully her, and it's what she felt that she had to intervene in the situations. What is mean by intervene?
Not sure, sir.
Intervene,
Is
inter, what's that?
it like
Hmm?
interrupt?
Yeah, it's like interrupt. The root word is interrupt. So it's like interrupt. So she felt that she had to interrupt the situations. And that's why she could not stay quiet. Okay. From here, I just want to advise you guys, okay? Please do not choose the answer by just guessing. Like okay, it could be this answer because in your level the answer should be beyond the word. So that's why we must be careful when you want to choose the answer, because sometimes it's really straightforward, but sometimes you need to really think on the situations, go beyond to the situations, and compare with the situations, then you can select the right one. Because if let's say you don't use these tactics or you don't use this trick, you may choose A as your answer because you say, okay, she was angry and her classmates bad behavior. It is not like bad behaviors, but when we study back or we read back, we can understand that it's not about the behavior, but it is about how they are react with them. Okay, so that's why my advice to you is, please do not simply choose the answer just by read the questions. Okay, because sometimes the answers, it's beyond the word, and you really may gonna miss it. Okay, accidentally may miss it because uh, your guessing is wrong. Okay, your intuition is sometimes will be wrong because it totally depends on the passage and totally depends on your understanding level, how you understand the passage and how you understand the questions and how you gonna interpret the answer. Okay, so your answer is C. Okay, it's not A. For 23, how did the bullies react toward Irene threat? Bullies. Where is bullies? Okay, the four kids were silent for a moment before bursting out into laughter. Okay, go ahead. One of the girls said smugly, "We are not afraid." Irene was furious ni laju, okay, and grabbed the girl arm roughly. Okay. "Oh, you are hurting me," the girl complained. "What's going on? You two come with me." Miss Alia, the head discipline teacher, said sharply. She led the two girls away. Irene turned to look at the table, which was now occupied by only Thomas. He shouted a quick smile and mouthed, "Thank you." The girl who made fun of Thomas a few minutes ago was now worried. "Look, please don't tell on me and my friends. I swear it was all just harmless fun." "We will not bother him again," we whispered. Irene could not care less about the girls, but she also did not want the situation to become more serious. Besides, she did not feel, okay, Miss Alia will believe her. So the situation is totally different. Prove your imaginations. Imagine yourself, you are in that situation. What are you gonna do? Okay. So from here we know that how did the bullies react toward Irene threat? Okay. They they were worried she will support them. She did this one. They did not think she was being serious because at one certain point, Irene turns to become serious. Okay. Okay, why did Irene tell Miss Alia that what happened was just an accident? Why? Why, Melanie?
Hmm.
Why?
Teacher, can you scroll back to the end story?
Oh, entire story.
No, just that line only.
Another one guy is Mahari. Okay. Which line you prefer to
Ah,
look?
this one okay, sir. I think I've got already the answer.
Huh?
I think I've got the answer already. Why not you scroll back?
You have the answer with you.
Hmm. Yeah, maybe.
Okay. You think lah. Let's see what is your finding. Is it true or false? Okay.
I think But sir, I think B and D like correct only.
She knew the teacher will not take any action. How you will knew that the teacher will not take any actions? Because it is a teacher. It's not your friend.
Because she mentioned like the teacher won't believe her.
So it should be she did not want to make things
Yes. Correct lah.
worse. Okay, so she did not want to make things worse. Okay. Okay, move on to 25. Why did Irene ask Thomas to bring her a bigger serving of his mother's food? Why?
D.
She had always been big eater. No, she had been craving for the dish. She was tired of store-bought food. She wanted to share it with her. Yes, she wanted to share it with her family.
Family.
Okay. The last paragraph. This time's Mahadi. The last paragraph mentions all of the following except Irene and Thomas' her friendship, Thomas' transformations, Irene's act of kindness, Thomas' school days. So except the last paragraph. Mahadi, there was 30 years ago, what Irene did change his life forever. He is no longer a timid person and he does not need anyone to save him anymore, even though they no longer live in the same city. They still keep in touch with each other. Irene will always have a special place in Thomas' heart. So, what could be the answer, Mahadi?
Irene and Thomas friends.
Irene and Thomas are friends. Yeah, accept.
Oh, except um, Thomas School's Day.
Thomas, yes, school days. Okay, because Irene and Thomas are still friendship. They all mentioned. Thomas is no more a timid guy, so it's Thomas transformations. Irene's act of kindness are there. This one is not there, so it should be D, the answer. Okay. Okay, we still have times and we will can continue for part 4. Okay, so this time I want Mahadi to read out these things. My earthquake experience, Mahadi. You may read, but in the box column you just leave there. Okay, you may continue for like for example, I felt ground move vaguely. 28. However, just a few seconds. Just continue if you're gonna answer the questions. So I just want to hear your voice, how you read the, how you pronounce the word. You may start now, Mahadi.
In June 218, my family
2000.
and 2018, my family and I went on a holiday to Japan. We had booked a hotel room in Tokyo and planned to go to Osaka. We had just come out of the Tokyo metro system, which was 4 floors beneath Kasuga Station. It was the world's most hectic train station. The time was around 3 in the afternoon. We were leaning up at the ticket counter to buy the ticket for Osaka when we felt the ground move vaguely. However, just a few seconds later, there was a violent shuddering. Signs hanging from the ceiling started to swing violently and things crashed to the ground. We ran for the exit. Fortunately, we managed to reach the street and hurried to a safe ground. It was surrounded by skyscrapers. skyscrapers. The noise was terrifying as the buildings shook and we could hear them creaking and groaning. We hoped to get far away from the buildings, but it was rather difficult to find large open space in Tokyo. We ended up staying there for more than 12 hours. Other people they also waiting for the earthquake to subside completely before leaving. There were still some aftershocks which continue to show fear and confusion. We decide to take a change and try to find a way to get back to our hotel. As we start as we start working, we saw crowds of others who had spent the night under open skies, barely sleeping, wandering through the city trying to understand the extent of the devastation. The earthquake was of an 8.9 magnitude. We looked around and saw that some people looked terrified, and a few women were crying. Surprisingly, there were many other people who appeared calm and relaxed. The journey to the hotel was stopped as the rail system in Tokyo had completely shut down and the streets were congested. Many feared that an even greater earthquake would strike Tokyo. Even large hotels advised guests to vacate their rooms. It had been quite a terrifying experience and one we would not be forgetting anytime soon. Nevertheless, we were thankful we survived the earthquake.
Okay, thank you for your thank you to read the passage. Actually, it was really a great experience, which is not in mother country. It's in Tokyo. Actually, it is a coincidence. Unfortunately, it happens on that day. Okay, so we move on to the question sessions. So we have only around 8 minutes left. Okay, for the first question. Okay, where is the question? No question. Aduh, apa yang disuruh buat? Oh, this one. Okay, so 27. Okay, so 27. So it was the world's most hectic train station. The time was around 3 in the afternoon. During the time, the ground continues. So here, thousands of commuters and tourists were jammed on the both sides of the platforms to enjoy the ride. Okay. We were lining up at the ticket counter to buy tickets for Osaka, and when we felt the ground move vaguely, which one? During the time, yes, everyone around us ignored it. Okay, so we just ignore. We thought that is just a part of the madness. Okay, we ran for the exit. Fortunately, we managed to reach the street and hurried a safe ground. So, as it was difficult for us to choking. So we end up staying there for more than 12 hours. Other people, they also waited for the earthquake to subside completely before leaving. So there was still some aftershock which continued to sow fear and confusion. So 30, it was the strongest to hit Japan in recorded history, or moreover, people begin to panic. During that time, the ground continued to tremble, but not as violently. Ah, yes, A. It continue evolve, kan? Dia membesar lagi atau mengembang. Okay. As we started walking, we saw crowds of others who had spent the night under open skies, barely sleeping, wandering through the city, trying to understand the extent of the devastations. The earthquake was on 8.9 magnitude. So we looked around and saw some people look terrified and few women were crying. So 31, we go and look first. Mm. Ah, this one. It was the strongest to hit Japan in recorded history because it said 8.9 magnitude. So, okay, the journey to the hotel was tough as the rail system in Tokyo had completely shut down and the streets were congested. What mean of congested, Melanie? Hmm? What is the meaning of congested, Melanie? Hmm? It's like a heavy traffic jam. Not traffic, but it's really difficult to move from one place to another place. So 32, what is the answer? So mudah kan, moreover people begin to panic down. A done. So here's H. Okay, with communications down, it was difficult to get an update for the situation. Okay, so many feared that an even greater earthquake will strike Tokyo. So even larger hotel advised guests to vacate their rooms. So it had been a quiet, not quite a quick, a terrifying experience, and one we will not be forgetting any time. Okay, nevertheless, we were thankful we survived the earthquake. That means they saved. Okay. Okay. For part E, part 5, accommodations. This one and okay, the last part. Actually, okay. I think can we continue the last this part on next week? Can or you want to do it by today?
We still have how many minutes, sir, before our class ends?
We still have 2 minutes only. It's really difficult. Okay.
Never mind, sir. Next day, lah.
Oh yeah. So who was the teacher here?
Sorry, sir.
No mind, no problem.
We
Okay.
have 2 minutes only.
Yeah, it's really difficult for us to manage 2 minutes to do this exercise because minimum for part 5 there must be around 10 minutes or 15 minutes is needed because it's information transfer. So you need to read the informations and then you need to transfer in the other form. So it's really hard and difficult. So please remind me next week. Can you remind me next week, Melanie?
Definitely,
So,
sir.
because next week we will continue part 5 and then we will touch up paper 2. Okay. So we will do it simultaneously when we finish paper 1, part 5, because we have only left one part, part 5, and we will move on to part the paper 2. So I just want some clarifications with you, Melanie. For SPM students, are you practicing? Is there still you have to read poem, short stories, and literatures? All do you still have in your syllabus, or is already diminished? I mean, or already abolished from the system?
No, sir, we don't have such dialect.
So you don't have any literatures, any poem, any short stories
No, no.
in your syllabus, right? For this is the latest one, am I right?
Yeah,
Because
we don't have.
no wonder, because last time I used to teach my students, so with the story, short stories, how to answer these types of questions, because they will ask. Actually, it's really nice, you know, that you can learn the poems and you can learn the short stories. Really, really interesting. But nowadays, because I saw your new format, no such questions. No such literatures or short stories or poem questions. So that's why no wonder I think, is that, am I right? Am I sailing the same boat, on the right boat? Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so nowadays you don't have any extras notes given to you to read, because those days, in my time, they gave me English textbook form 5 plus three extra book, which is poems, short stories, and novel. I think so. Yeah, the one novel, one short story novel. For example, Step by Wicked Step. Um, Tom, what
But
is
we also have, sir.
which one?
We have the poem books and the short story books.
The latest
But
one.
yeah, but what we didn't, what my teacher won't teach lah because it's not in the syllabus.
That means it will not come out in your examinations, right?
Yeah,
Oh, okay, okay. But what is the point they're giving you? Just to just
read.
it depends on you. If you want to read, it's up to you. You can add your general knowledge. But if you don't want to read, it depends on you. Something like that.
Yeah, true.
Oh, so what is the title of the novels given to you for this week? Sorry, this year.
Uh, Wait, sir.
Oh my God, that means you are not aware of this. Okay, never mind.
I
So
didn't wait. Wait, sir. It's Dear Mr. Kilmer.
come again. What is that?
Dear Mr. Kilmer.
Dear Mr. Hillman. So do you revise the book or read
No,
up
sir.
the book? No.
Honestly,
That
no.
means you nicely, yeah, you keep nicely in your cupboard, and then at the end of the year you can submit back to your teacher. Is it true?
But usually, I I didn't
Oh.
read the novel, but
uh,
there's a poetry book, right?
Yeah,
In
because
English.
those days we used to read this novel. We used to practice these poems, short stories, all that, because we need to answer. There we have some extra sections, like for example, section C, which is only particular for literature questions. So in that literature questions, they may ask you about the short stories. They may ask you about the poem. Okay, and the summary, they will ask you about the it's from the novel. For example, the moral value from the novel, what the things that you can get, the lesson learned from the novel, interesting story from the novel, is something like that. Okay, similar to the summary writing, you know.
It's like BM lah, similar to
Yes, 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 yes. Okay, but we don't have, it's okay. But actually, if you have time, you can read. But now I think so. I don't think so. You have time. You just can focus on others things rather than you read this storybook. Okay, because times are really, really, really limited for you nowadays. Okay, your examination is just around the corner. Are you ready? Not yet.
mm, 50-50.
50-50. That means
Can lah.
sometimes you're ready, sometimes it's not.
Yeah.
Okay, So yeah, almost 9:49. It's really I think this class is really enjoying, even though small portions, that means just two people, but really can turn into interesting classes because we are keep on communicating. It's really interesting. So Mahadi, okay, are you okay?
I'm okay.
Okay, yeah, because normally SPM classes English. I don't know about other subject, but normally English. It's maybe I can say it's quite interesting because there are some persons who interrupt, and some persons who answer the questions, some persons to communicate with the teachers. It's bring and it turns the class to an interesting lessons. Okay, that's the main idea. That's why I'm keep on. I'm asking you guys to read that, answer this, answer that, because maybe I don't want to keep, I don't want to bring this class with boringness. To prevent the boringness, I need to do like this. Okay, other, I mean, other standard I cannot do because they are not, maybe it's not sporting, so that's why. Okay, so yeah, it's already 9:50. I think so. I need to leave this class. Okay. So any questions before I end up this session? Any questions from you guys?
Sir,
Mahadi? Yeah.
means right. So the KBSM syllabus got the poems, the short stories like that.
Yes. Yes.
Okay, sir. Thank you. Just want to know.
Oh yeah. Those days. Now they abolish the system, so we no need to, because you said no more storybooks. So that means no lah. Because that's why they change the format. They update the latest format, which is without the story, without the literatures. So maybe I don't know how about you guys nowadays, but they prepare the questions without literatures questions. That means the things is not in your syllabus. Abolish the syllabus. Never mind. Maybe next time if others coming and they will bring up this thing again. Really interesting. Let's we see. Okay. So any other upon beside this? Mahadi ada apa-apa nak tanya ke? Tak ada.
Tak ada cikgu.
Okay, so far okay Kaisara Sakrani baru masuk Dah habis lah kat kelas. Okay. So that's all from me. Thank you, Melanie and Mahadi, to join this class. Hope to see you next week, same day. Next week, saya tak pasti because next week is public holiday. So I don't think so the class will be as usual, but depends on the announcement from Mr. Azman. So if let's say Cikgu Azman say the class just as normal, so we continue as normal. But let's say Cikgu Azman say public holiday, that means no classes. Because next week on Thursday is public holiday. I don't think so the class will be resumed as normal. But it depends on the announcement from Mr. Azman's updates. So we just wait for the updates. If no classes, I will meet you back again after 2 weeks. Okay. So anyhow, do you have any questions? You may raise your questions in the WhatsApp group or anything, so you can PM me direct. So hope to see you back on the next class. Thank you. Good night. Have a nice day. All the best for your exam. Good night. Sleep tight. Thank you. Bye bye.
Thank you,
Welcome.
sir. Bye bye.
Bye bye.